Food fa fa fa. Food fa fa. I song.
Oh, buddy. Happy Sunday. We're recording this on a Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Have you been resting like the Lord did when he made the earth and the universe?
Oh, bud. Well, that must have been a fucking hell of a nap he took after that. Our sweet, sweet Lord. But no, I'm a little not as rested as I would like to be because I'm a little hungover.
Oh.
I'm a little high.
Okay.
So, we'll see how this goes.
You're a little hangover.
I'm hangover. Yeah. Like, if only I was hungover, like a weed hangover, which happens sometimes. Those are pretty easy to recover from. You just smoke more weed.
Well, tell me, I mean, you get into so many shenanigans. I want to know, like, what kind of trouble did you get in last night, man?
Man, I blacked out at about 7:30 at night.
Oh yeah, that's pretty late for you.
Yeah. We got started late. We didn't start drinking until like 7. So I had I don't know, dude. I had like probably like no joke like a beer and a half and straight up blacked out.
Was it poison beer?
It was a hazy IPA, so basically.
Oh man, I made the mistake of I'm not an alcohol person at all, especially not for flavor.
Or just you don't like drinking alcohol?
I just don't usually drink alcohol, and I especially don't drink beers. So
it's so pointless.
The concept of an IPA is so crazy to me.
Yeah, just something being that like super strong, the flavor
being so strong and gross and disgusting, and still being a beer.
It's an IPA is probably like the closest you can get to hard liquor. I feel like with beer, I might be totally off with that, but that's what it feels like to me. And it's like it legit tastes like poison. Like if it's not cold enough,
yeah.
If it's not cold enough, it just tastes like liquor, and you're like, dude. I'm literally poisoning myself to feel different.
I mean, alcohol. I do believe alcohol is technically poison.
I mean, technically, I think that's what it's doing. It's very lightly poisoning.
Very lightly.
So you get fucked up.
I made the mistake one time of buying a 6-pack of Voodoo Ranger just because I didn't know what it was.
Right?
Yes, yeah. And it just looked cool, and I was like, this looks cool. I'm going to get this one. We'll see what happens. And I could only drink like, I had 4 little tiny sips of it, and that's all I could handle. And they lived in the fridge for like the next half year.
Dude, so they're aged.
Yes, they're aged like fine wine.
Dude, I get it. Like last night, I usually have been going for the IPAs because I feel the same exact way about beer. Like I love whiskey. Like I'm starting to like explore that side of things, and I love wine. Like doing the same thing with wine. Like we went to a wine bar the other day. It was awesome. Had a wine from Austin. That was my favorite of the night, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really, really good. It was called the Austin Winery. So
wow.
It was a grape I've never heard of before. I'm not going to try and pronounce it right now, but yeah. Anyway, dude, if I'm going to drink beers, I'm going to do it like 8% alcohol or something, because I'm like, I'm only going to have 3 of these things before, like, I'm not going to have dinner because I'm too full.
Yeah, right.
So, like, I'm going to have to, like, go on a diet after drinking 3 beers.
That's why I've always been confused as to how people can drink so many, because it's so fulling and it makes you just feel, like, heavy and sloshy and,
It's super fulling.
And I've never... Super fulling. I guess I could be inexperienced to parties and stuff like that, but I've never understood drinking not to get drunk.
I think, honestly, I still pretty much only drink to get drunk. And I've done it like, since college. It's been like, anytime I drink, I'm just like, well, I'm not just going to have a whiskey.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not at that level like of sophistication yet, where I'm just like, just the taste.
Well, and also like you hear, Dad comes home and he gets a Pabst and and that's it. And it's like, well,
I just need a beer.
I'll just have one beer, please.
Yeah. No.
cool.
I have one beer and I feel like I'm hungover within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
My body like actively rejects beer most of the time.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've always I kind of have a theory that I'm allergic to certain alcohols or something, because whenever I drink any alcohol at all, I just feel sick and my stomach is turning, But the more drunk you get, the less you notice it. So
yeah, until you drink too much, and then you literally poison yourself so much you're puking in the bathroom.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, last night I probably had like 4 beers last night, but I just got a little drunk, and then I came home and I like vaped a huge bowl of the homegrown that I got this week, and I was just like, woo, like buzzing till like 2 a.m.
Oh man.
And yeah, so I had a good time, but man, listening to like, it was a nice way to start the day of like listening to the record that we're going to talk about today, and like kind of waking and baking and like having some coffee. I'm just like, ooh.
A nice smooth transition. What's up, buds? Welcome to another episode of the EBPC. Lucas, what does that stand for?
The Electronic Board of Producing. I don't know any words to start with.
Woo! All right.
Yeah.
The Electronic Board of Producing cans.
Cans. I couldn't think of cans.
But we around the business call it the Earbuds Podcast, where we talk about very good albums as very good friends for a very good amount of time. I, as always, am your co-host, Brett, full on gumbo Hanrahan.
Oh, full on gumbo. Was that gumbo good?
Oh, it's good gumbo.
Shit.
It's good gumbo.
Man. Mail me some, dude.
With me, as always, is my bud, my partner in crime, my lover, Lucas, full on IPA in Jakovs.
What up? What up, YouTube?
And today we have an album that I suggested. This is one of the, if not the funniest band that I've listened to. And
it's quite the claim.
Also a very musically interesting band. And they are called Flight of the Conchords, and we are talking about their debut album, Flight of the Conchords.
Yes, came out in 2003?
2008.
2008, I was close.
Yeah, like 5 years, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's the variable or whatever, 5 years in either direction when you get something.
Yeah, that's the limit.
Yeah, man, this is I loved Flight of the Conchords TV show, man, and that's what most of these songs, if not all of them, are from the show. I
think you can see on this album that there's like an HBO label or something on it, or at least on my copy that I have physically. And so it's the TV show. All the songs come from the TV show. I think all the songs, maybe not all of them, but
I'm pretty sure it's all of them. It's very much like the first Tenacious D record.
Yeah,
it's the same idea where that album is really funny out of context of why those songs happened in the show, and it's the same way with this record. It's like I was a little worried because I'd never actually listened to the album, and I was a little worried that it wasn't going to be as funny without seeing them do it.
Yeah, right.
And knowing the reasoning why the songs exist, because even like on the Tenacious D record, that song Lee like makes no sense out of context. But on the show, it's hilarious. So I was thinking like with Leggy Blonde and a couple of other songs on this, I was like, man, it's not going to be as funny without like knowing, what happened before that made them start singing that song. But it totally was. This album's fucking hilarious.
Oh, it's great. I having never watched this series, unfortunately. I've always wanted to, but I just can't find it anywhere. I absolutely adore this album. And it was only when I was looking at Genius today that I kind of got the context for some of the songs, like Leggy Blonde. I didn't even know it was a different person on that verse.
I was wondering if you knew that. Yeah, it's the guy who plays their manager on the show, and he's so funny.
Yeah, and then, like, Leggy Blonde, maybe Prince of Parties, maybe, like, Boom are
right
some ones, but, I mean, I'd say 95% of this album is just as funny without context, and I just adore this thing, man.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. Like I had to, like, there's so many lines that I had to write down. Like, I love in, like, Fudu Fafa, like that they're just saying French phrases and some of them aren't even grammatically correct.
Yeah. They're just like, oh, croissant, croissant, baguette,
bouffe. Like, and then at the end, the lady's trying to speak French to him, and he's just like, and he doesn't understand a word she's saying.
Parlez-vous français?
I think it's no. Dude, I love, like, in the Hip Hopopotamus song.
Man.
When, like, they're rapping about how one guy says that their rhymes suck, and he's just like, but how? Be more constructive with your feedback.
Why?
Why? And then in Ladies of the World, like, talking about the hermaphrodite lady man.
Yeah, lady man, ladies, even you must be into you.
With your sexy lady bits and your sexy man bits too.
Which, I mean, very, very cool from an album from, like, 2008, I'd say.
Yeah.
Definitely,
yeah,
that take on trans people could have been a lot worse.
It definitely could have been way worse. I mean, the great thing about Flight of the Conchords to me is, like, especially in the show, like, they're so polite and they don't really cuss at all.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I think they're such a fantastic comedy band, because there are groups like Lonely Island and Tenacious D that maybe sometimes rely too heavily on being, I don't want to sound like a white Christian mother here, but, like, crude.
Yeah, being gross, and, like, Tenacious D has so many dick and fart jokes, and so is Lonely Island,
But these guys are, I mean, they're obviously not completely untainted, but their jokes and their concepts all come from just genuinely funny places.
Yeah, I would say it's more PG-13. Like, it's not kiddie at all.
Yeah, it's not. Maybe don't show it to your developing child or anything.
Yeah, but what's great about is that in the show too, they are kind of dickheads. Like, so they don't cuss and they're very polite, but they're sort of, like, still jerks.
Yeah,
and that comes across on some of these songs too, like The Most Beautiful Girl in the Room. Like, all of those backhanded comments are fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's I have such a history with, like, Hip Hopopotamus and Beautiful Girl specifically.
Yeah,
and it's just like, you're so beautiful, like a tree.
Like a tree.
Like a tree. Or high class prostitute.
I love, he's like, and when you're on the street, depending on the street, I bet you're definitely in the top 3. Just barely complimenting this woman that he's trying to hit on at a party.
Yeah.
It's so fucking clever.
It's just not something you would, like, think of. And I also love how their humor can be both, like, they're both extremely confident in themselves and also self-deprecating at the same time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, A Kiss Is Not a Contract, where they talk about, like, we're not easy.
Yeah, I love, it's like, it flips the roles where it's just like, hey, just because we're kissing doesn't mean it's going to go any further.
They're like, just because we're in a duo parody gimmick band doesn't mean it's all about Poo-Tang.
And it's like, who would think that? Like, a gimmick parody duo band is, like, probably the dudes who get laid the least.
Yeah, and they I think they describe themselves as the 4th most popular band from, like, Sweden. Is that it?
New Zealand.
The 4th most popular folk duo parody band from New Zealand.
Yeah, there's so many, like, great random lines throughout the whole record, and
oh man,
And the music is like, I don't remember the music being this good.
No, it's so good, and they have such a variety of genres that they hit on. It's like the music itself is either a tribute or a parody to like a certain era or genre of music.
Which I totally didn't realize that until doing like, kind of reading in a little bit on, like behind the backgrounds of this album.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I just didn't catch that, like Business Time is like a Let's Get It On type of parody.
Yeah.
Inner City is like West End Girls by Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah, right.
Stuff like that. Like I totally didn't pick up on that when I watched the show. Like I don't think I knew those songs.
Well, yeah, but it's great because you don't really need to know those songs.
Right.
Because it's a parody on those songs, but it's also a parody on like the vibe and the themes of those songs that are so like they're a stereotype of music.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Think about it, where they're just like talking about the woes of the world, but
it's so like kind of inconsequential things.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like a parody of What's Going On. It's so good.
Right,
man.
yeah. It's like one of my favorite lines on the entire album is where he's like, "The man on the street, kids chopped off his head. Now I'm the only one who stops to see if he's dead. It turns out he's dead."
It turns out he's dead.
Oh, man.
There's so many little lines like that, and that's why like I thought, like, oh man, it was so funny on the show, and I don't think like just on listening to the music it would be as funny, but so many of the jokes land so hard. Like there's a few tracks that I didn't necessarily think were that funny, like the Prince of Parties.
Yeah, it was.
That one's like in the show he like takes acid.
Right.
And like that's the song that he's like tripping out, and he's like goes into a music video. So like, it's not as funny on the record. And I think like Boom was not as funny.
Yeah, Boom was really I don't know what to think about Boom because first off, I don't really know what it's parodying. But it's such they like it seems like one of the few songs where they just had one joke and they just only stuck to that one joke.
And it's a short song at least too. It's just it's just kind of like playing off of the reggaeton like sex songs of like the 90s basically. Just got really cheesy like Jamaican rap from the 90s, and I got it. Like I understood like what they were doing with the music. I just didn't think I think outside the context it just didn't land. But man, I love the mother uckas. Like
too many mother uckas. I can with my share. And then
that was one that I was like, that's not going to make any sense out of context because it's so funny in the show because it's all about how like Aziz Ansari is playing a grocery store.
Yeah, right.
Like racist towards them because they're from New Zealand. He's like, I hate Kiwis. Like, just keeps saying, I hate Lord of the Rings. Like just talking shit, and it's just so random, and they get so mad, and they just deal with like weirdly anti-Kiwi racism through the whole show, and it's so fucking funny. And
that's where one of the odd lines in that song made sense to me after I watched the video, where he's talking about like I don't know, like there's one part of the song where he's like censoring himself, and he's like he's shoveling that so up his ass. Yeah.
So funny, dude. That part, like that stuttery part, talking about an avocado and a mango.
Yeah, mango.
I'm gonna pop an apple in his ass.
An apple in his ass, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's why, like, even though the music, like, the production's great, it sounds way better than I remember it sounding, but the music does, like, all pretty much sound, like, pretty cheesy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're not gonna hear any of the music. Like if this was an instrumental album, I don't think it might be anything you'd be interested in, No,
totally not. Not at all.
But it is totally cheesy. But
it's the parody aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like cheesy, like how Weird Al, his music is cheesy, but it's so well played and like, recorded and everything, but it's just like, this just has this air of just like fucking stink of cheese on it.
But, I mean, I think it's I still think their music is more interesting than most other comedy acts I've seen. You know, like Lonely Island is just like, I don't know, they're just doing hip hop hype beats or something.
Yeah, they're nailing those though.
That's true. That's
You
true.
know? Like Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping is one of the funniest movies I've seen, I think, in my whole life, and all of the music is really fucking good on it.
I still need to watch that, man.
You haven't seen it?
Well, no, I haven't. Y'all talk so like highly about it, but I like, where is it? Is it on any streaming services right now?
I don't know if it's free on anything, but you know, it's like $3-4 probably to rent at the most.
I don't have that kind of money.
Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I watched it 2 times in a row the first and second time I saw it. Like, literally at
with
the end
Luis,
of the credits,
right?
restarted it. Yeah, with Luis. We were
Yeah.
just like, for like 5 minutes, we probably were just going back and forth, just saying line after line after line. And then it got quiet for like 30 seconds. And I was like, dude, I kind of want to watch that again, like, immediately. And he was just like, I do too. Like, it's like we didn't want to admit it. But oh man, it's so good. I've probably seen it like 6 or 7 times at this point.
Jeez.
And the music is just as good outside of context. But I think they did a music video for like almost every song in the movie, and they add so much to it. I would definitely recommend it.
I would say I kind of went through the music videos on these songs, and I don't think the videos add really too much to the music. Honestly,
Maybe not. I would think the episode where they happen add a lot of context.
Yeah, but most of the videos I watched were just like the two of them kind of, you know, being in a music video, walking through the streets of the city and just kind of like doing the lines and, you know, whatever. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, they are legitimately like pretty talented singers though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, and
rappers too.
Hippopotamus floats a glow like phosphorus, popping out the top of this esophagus.
I love in the beginning of that, Jermaine's like, he's saying that he has like endless lyrics or whatever,
Yeah.
but he just does 2 lines and he kind of stutters.
I'm the
That's the same
hippopotamus. My lyrics are bottomless. And then he kind of like makes a
That's it.
face at the camera. And he's like,
But legitimately, like, for how cheesy the lyrics and the music or the lyrics are, like, they are really good singers and like pretty fucking decent rappers, so it adds a lot to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like, they both just have a weird kind of crazy range. Like, Jermaine, I don't remember who's who. I think
Jermaine is the taller guy
with the glasses.
with the glasses.
Yeah, he can get pretty low in like those low registers, you know, and Britt can get really high up there. And so they together they kind of cover everything, and I don't know, their voices go well together.
Yeah, and it's not like they have good voices.
Yeah,
Like, we're not saying they're good singers. It's just surprisingly for like, they're actors, you know, but and musicians, but it's just like they're surprisingly good for, you know, just being like a couple of random dudes that are like more comedians than anything else.
right.
But I think Jermaine is my favorite out of the two of them.
Yeah, I think
so.
I always had a proclivity to Brit just because we have the same name.
Yeah, Brett and Britt.
How is his name spelled?
It's Bret.
Okay, and mine's Brett.
Yeah, but you would think his is Brett, but it is because of their accent is pronounced Brit.
Yeah, Brit and Jermaine.
Yeah, and dude, yeah, I think Jermaine is my favorite because he's just like, he's tall, he's goofy, he fucking looks weird.
He does, yeah.
You know, he's got the really thick glasses, and he's got like the gap in his teeth, like just all these things that are just like, it makes him funnier. And he's just goofier to me.
Yeah.
But he's also, I mean, like, I think he's had a more successful career after Flight of the Conchords too. Like, he's in a ton of shit, so I think I'm not the only one that likes him more.
Were they both responsible for What We Do in the Shadows? Or is that just one of them?
I think it was Jermaine with Waika Titi, Waika Katiti. Man, I don't know all the names, but no, I think it was like Jermaine and two other guys that mostly did that. So like Brett, I don't think has done a lot acting wise since Flight of the Conchords. He was in Lord of the Rings for like a split second.
Was he?
Yeah, he played an elf. He had like 2 lines or 3 lines.
What movie?
The first one, I think, Fellowship. And I think it was like kind of a cameo because he's, you know, big in New Zealand. And they filmed it in New Zealand. So I think it was like they had him there for a reason, you know?
Sheesh.
And he's in The Hobbit. I didn't know that.
I mean, I really had no idea either of these guys, aside from What We Do in the Shadows, had really been responsible for anything else. But it also doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, actually, looking now, Britt, he was the music supervisor for the Muppets 2011 and the Muppets Most Wanted that came out in 2014.
Really?
Yeah.
Those are good movies, and they have good music.
Yeah, and he won an Academy Award for Best Original Song on the Muppets movie,
Man or Muppet, yeah.
Dude, holy shit. So he has done good for himself. I'm glad, man, because I like him. I just, you know, Jermaine has just made it much bigger as an actor since.
Well, maybe you and I can have a little ear bout and, you know, for Team Brett, Team Jermaine.
I mean, we can become earfoes if we want real quick. I can get foe on you real quick.
I'll get Fafa.
I'll get a fa-da-fa-fa.
I would say one thing that always struck me very odd about this album is that is the first song. You know, Fuda Fafa. Just
right.
The one song where they're entirely speaking another language, you know, not very well. But like, if you're a first-time listener, you have no idea what's going on. And maybe that's like part of the comedy of the record is that they wanted to try to freak people out or something with this whole like very French first song, you know.
Which is so good though. Like,
yeah.
It's cheesy, but it's legitimately like fucking great.
Yeah. Like
it's
they
so
knew
funny,
the source
like,
material.
Especially out of context. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. I mean, for some reason, like there's a lot of tracks on this record. Like there's 15 songs on this. And I have a feeling that we're gonna share at least one choice snug.
I don't know, man. I have such a love for a lot of these songs. There are very few songs that I don't love on this album.
Same, honestly. Like I said, I think the Prince of Parties and Boom, like for sure. I'm just like all I wrote for Boom was skip.
Well, except the best part of Boom is the beginning, where he's like, "Oh, the girl's so hot. She's so hot, but I don't want to tell her because she'll think I'm sexist. She's so hot, she's making me sexist.
She's so hot, she's making me sexist." Yeah, that one and Robots, I could also kind of do without.
I like Robots.
The chorus is good.
And then they're like, hey, one more time without emotion, the humans are da 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 do.
It reminds me a lot of Psy Boogie by King Gizzard.
Yeah.
It's very similar vibes to Psy Boogie. So I feel like both of those songs are like using some sort of source material as the inspiration. Like, right. I wouldn't be surprised. It's so similar. But I used to sing like the humans are dead all the time.
The humans are dead.
Yeah, but man, should I go first? One of my favorites?
Yeah, go for it.
It is time for choice nugs. It is time for choice nugs.
It's real easy because it literally just like makes me laugh the entire song. Is The Most Beautiful Girl in the Room.
Oh man, yeah, that's a fantastic one.
It's just like I love the weird negging aspect of like how he's complimenting this girl that he's like hitting on during a party, and it's just so the lines are amazing.
It's just all like backhanded compliments, and I also like the riff, the
yeah, the music's great on this song. It's like very like early 2000s like R&B.
Yeah, and I love when the kind of, it's not really a drop, but you know, we gets a little through the song and like maybe a minute in, like, he kind of the drum beat kind of comes in, you know.
Yeah, I think like it's funny because it starts out sounding very R&B, and then once the drums come in and the whole song kind of opens up, it's like it's more like 70s like soft rock.
Yeah.
But the vocals are so good on this song. Like he's like Jermaine singing kind of falsetto, and like all of the harmonies that they have going, like really cheesy harmonies, and like the bass sounds great on the whole song. The bass is actually really good on this song.
Yeah, it's nice and like kind of bouncy.
It's and the way it's recorded, like in the mix, it's it's like like just really good, really deep.
Yeah. And I'm something that's always confused me about this song is that I think the music video that they have in the show, like they switch vocal parts, Jermaine and Britt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think on the record it's Jermaine singing the whole thing.
And I think in the TV show it's Britt, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's Jermaine in the show, but it's been legit like probably 15 years since I've seen it. Well, it hasn't even been since 15 years since it came out, but it's been 15 years since I've seen it.
Well, in any case.
Somehow. But I love like because you're so beautiful like a tree.
Like a tree.
or a high-class prostitute.
You could be an air hostess in the 60s.
Yeah. You could be a part-time
model.
Love that.
He's like, you could
but you'd probably still have to keep your normal job.
Spend part of your time modeling and part of your time next to me.
And the rest of your time doing your normal job.
Yeah. He's like, I could buy you a kebab. I can't believe I'm with the most beautiful girl I have ever seen with a kebab.
I'm sharing a kebab with the most beautiful girl.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's just that weird line of being like, I don't know. It's just backhanded compliments the whole time, and it's hilarious.
And that's what I mean. It's so like they're so polite, but then they're kind of dicks.
Yeah, right.
Like you're so beautiful, like a high class prostitute. Like this sociopath thinks that that's a compliment. That's what cracks me up the most about it.
Part-time model.
Yeah, great harmonies, great singing the whole time. Like, I thought that would be one of your choice nugs too.
If I'm being honest, I'm still trying to figure them out.
No shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, because there are so many like the main ones I'm looking at are like Hip Hopopotamus, Think About It.
Yeah.
Most Beautiful Girl, Business Time. And
Business Time's great.
It's business.
It's business time. Dude, I saw them live, and they were so good live, man.
Oh, yeah.
They played most of these songs, and it was so fucking funny.
And before I forget about it, I want to talk about the outro for Ladies of the World, where the song kind of fades out, and then it fades back in with this, like kind of the same music, but they're doing these beautiful harmonies.
Dude, how, like, way too good for them is that part?
Yeah. It almost makes me kind of wonder, like, did they feel a little sad that, like, oh, I wish we wrote real music, you know? And they kind of, like, added that part in because they saw it?
Dude, I don't know. It has no right being as good as it is. It almost sounds like something out of like a Tame Impala song.
Yeah, and it's just like a real short like 20 seconds, and it's just like the guitar and all these vocals kind of surrounding, and it's a very like surrounding part of the song, and then
like
it fades away and it's not talked about.
Yeah, and listening to it now, it's more like a Childish Gambino sounding thing, like something that he would do on like Awaken My Love. It's dude, that part was like so random, and that's what kind of shows you it's like, okay, they have a little bit more like than they're letting on.
Yeah, right.
You know, because it really is like it's them playing guitar, like it's them, you know, I'm pretty sure it's them playing the guitar and the bass in the music, so it's like they're good. Like the guitar and bass are good on the whole album.
Yeah.
But that part was just like, what? Like, where did that come from? I want to hear more of that. Like, who did that part?
Like, maybe if they just put out a serious album one time, I'd listen to it. I'd give it a shot.
If they wrote a serious record, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's really good.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they have done that, like, under a pseudonym or something, you know?
I would love to hear it.
But what was your second nug?
My second nug, I also had a hard time choosing, man, because, like, there's so many songs that I love, like Inner City Pressure.
Oh, I love the line where, you know, he's talking about how poor he is and you just want to sit down, but you sold your chair, so you just stand there. You just stand there.
You know you're not in high finance if you're considering secondhand underpants. And like the 80s synthy, like kind of cheesy, like hip hoppy, Beat Boys kind of, like, love that. I love the hip hop Apotamus, Mother Ucka's Leggy Blonde, like leggy. It's so catchy. The stupid rap part at the end, I love.
Yeah,
like,
it comes out of nowhere.
Reason. So it was hard for me to choose, dude. But I think it's hip hop Apotamus versus Rhymenoceros.
Man. This was the first song I've heard by Flight of the Conchords. And
I think it's probably their biggest one for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think it has like the most listens on Spotify.
Well, it's just like...
Yeah, 13 million listens to that one. Which is not nearly as much as there should be.
It really should be more. But yeah, this song is great. The weird acoustic guitar part that you wouldn't...
It's kind of like stupid and cheesy, but it works so well.
Yeah, and it doesn't really sound like any rap song I've heard, you know?
I was raised by a rapper and right on that date and
subsequently procreated. That's how it goes.
And sometimes the rhymes are polite, like, thank you for the dinner, Miss Wright.
That was very delicious. Good night.
Sometimes they have seen like a pornographic dream, NC-17 with the ladies in a stream of margarine. Haha, yeah. Margarine. And
I love the part where they're like, they do this, if my records in rhymes, they don't get played because my rhymes in records, they don't get made. And like that whole thing.
If you rap like me, you don't get paid. And if you roll like me, you don't get laid. They call me hip hop Apotamus. Flows that flow like... I can't even do it.
Flows that flow like phosphorus. Topping out the top of this esophagus, rocking this metropolis. I'm not a large water-dwelling mammal. Where'd you get that?
Preposterous hypothesis.
Did Steve tell you that perchance?
Steve. Yeah, dude, it's just so... It's so, like, stupid, but then you listen and you're like... It's like Lonely Island, man, where they just, like, impress you with just, like, how can you write something so fucking dumb, but it's so clever at the same time?
Honestly, yeah.
Yes, sometimes my lyrics are sexist, but you lovely bitches and hoes should know I'm trying to correct this.
I'm trying to correct this.
I love other rappers diss me, say my rhymes are sissy. Why? Why? What?
Why?
Why exactly? Be more constructive with your feedback, please. Why?
And then Britt starts going crazy, and he's like, "I rap about reality. Me much ram, I'm drinking a cup of tea.
There ain't no party like my Nana's tea party."
Hey, how?
Yeah, I think it's dude. Again, it was hard to choose, man. But that one's just like literally the whole time I'm giggling, and I'm just impressed. Just like how do you again write something so stupid and be so clever at the same time? Like, I have such an appreciation for just stupid comedy. Like I can go as highbrow as you need me to go, and I'll still think it's funny, you know. But it's just like the really stupid shit is what really gets me, and especially like it really impresses me if you can be really stupid, but at the same time incredibly clever.
Well, they're just kind of clever about what kind of stupid they are. It's not the stupid where they're just like, you know, just talking about toilet humor and stuff like that, but they're taking like advantage of them looking stupid to be, I don't know, I can't describe it, but it's just it's like they're so confident but also so stupid that
Yeah.
it's just always funny.
Oh, dude, if you haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows, the movie or the TV show, like, you should, dude.
Man, I've watched it. I watched the movie in a couple episodes. I'm not into it.
Really? I love it.
No, I'm just like, I get it, but it's not my flavor. It's not my brand.
Damn, that's surprising. That's surprising. I really, really loved it.
All right, well, I have my first nug ready.
You figured it out?
Ready and raring to go.
Okay, let's drop it on me, brother.
All right, I'm going for Think About It as my first nug.
Dude, the What's Going On parody.
Yeah. Just like every line just makes me laugh out loud every time I hear it, you know?
It's so
like,
good.
It when he's talking about like, I saw a man in the street with knives and forks in his leg, and he said, ow, 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 ow. Can somebody please remove these cutleries from my knees?
There's people on the streets getting diseases from monkeys. Yeah, that's what I said. They're getting diseases from monkeys.
Now there's junkies with monkey disease.
Who's touching these monkeys, please?
Leave these poor sick monkeys alone. They got problems enough as it is.
You said the best part, too. Man's lying on the street.
Yeah.
Some punk's chopped off his head.
I'm the only one who stops to see if he's dead.
Turns out he's dead.
Ugh, and it's just... Yeah, I don't know.
I love the part in the chorus where Jermaine just kind of mumbles when there's supposed to be like a line, you know?
What's wrong?
Yeah. What's wrong with the world today?
And again,
it's like,
a happy day.
I love it because like they probably couldn't think of what to write there, and I love they just kept it like, let's just mumble on that part.
Whatever. And then the part I feel the worst about laughing on this whole record, where he's talking about like the slave kids making sneakers.
Dude,
but the sneakers aren't that much cheaper.
So why are we still paying so much for sneakers?
What are your overheads?
When you got them made by little slave kids, what are your overheads? Horrible. That's what I like. That's the jerky part, and they're so stupid that they don't even realize they're being, kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. And it's so like the music's so great. The electric piano sounds so good on it.
It's just like it's groovy. It's pretty smooth. I like the vocals, the harmonies.
Lots of auxiliary percussion.
Yeah, right.
The great strings going all the time, which I'm pretty sure are synth strings, but they still are really good. And it's one of the like funnier premises for this show too, in the song, because it's like kind of, other than the slaves making sneakers, the kid slaves, everything else is like not that. They're just making these like a way bigger deal out of certain things, or even like blown like way out of proportion.
Yeah, right.
And dude, yeah, it's so like you realize that they met in like when they were in college, and they were both studying film and theater.
Really?
So they were, yeah. So like they made a band with Taika Waititi, who's like their other writing partner, like in college. And they were just kind of like, they came up as just funny dudes who played music. So I think from the moment they met, they were just like, they just started writing songs. Like the first two songs that they played, I think, or they were on a show, and then by the time they were on the show, which was like in 2000 actually, they had already written Bowie, Ladies of the World.
Yeah, they had a little EP,
and a couple of
right?
other ones. Yeah. So like these songs were, some of the first ones that they wrote. And Ladies of the World is great. It's so stupid, but it's hilarious. And it's just like, I haven't listened to their other albums after this, and I'm a little worried that it's going to be like Tenacious D, where it's not going to be as funny.
Yeah, I tried to listen. They only have another album after this one.
Yeah.
And it's not as funny, but it does have I got hurt feelings, which is,
I love that song.
A great song. And there's a song on the EP called like It's that one that we were kind of talking about the last time we got together, where it's like, and if you want me to, I can make out with you. That's what you're into.
That's
me
what you're
into do. If that's what you're
into. Holy shit. Okay, then I'm actually gonna like that second album a lot because a lot of those are from the show too.
Well, that one's from the EP, unfortunately.
Oh, I see. Okay. Dude, I didn't realize before they even got the show, they won a Grammy for Best Comedy Album. Like, their first record won a Grammy.
Really?
And I don't even think I've heard any of it.
Huh.
Oh, I guess, no, actually, you're right. Like, what You're Into is on it. The Most Beautiful Girl in the Room is on it.
Yeah.
Not Crying, that's a great song. That's on it, too.
Well, I think, you know what? I think I'm going to... It's so hard, but I'm going to say my second choice Nug with honorable mentions, Business Time, Kiss is Not a Contract, Hippopotamus. I'm going to say it's Most Beautiful Girl in the Room.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was my first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you just tell me?
Because I didn't know at the time. I was still figuring it out. I was like listening to the songs and being like, You know?
What do you want, your own section to talk about this song? We got to talk about it for another 5 minutes?
Yeah, here's my perspective. It's the music and the lyrics.
Can we talk about me a little bit more? I'm getting bored. Yeah, dude, Most Beautiful Girl in the Room is clearly, like, I think it's the best song on the record.
It very may well be, and you could tell they were confident because it was on their EP, and they decided to put it on their record and in the show.
And in the show, yeah, exactly.
And so with that being said, man, what would you rate this album?
What is your rating?
Man, it's like probably really close to the first Tenacious D record for me, and like in terms of how funny it is. I love Tenacious D. That album is one of my favorites of all time.
Really?
Yes, like no question. Like it was so impactful on me when I was in high school, and the show was too. And then Flight of the Conchords was like the college me that got into something like this, and it's just they're so goofy in a different way, and I don't know, man. Like it's legitimately like this is gonna be like one of my favorite comedy music albums, you know, because it's one of my favorite comedy shows, you know. So
yeah,
I'm gonna say like. Just for how funny it is, dude, like, it would be like a 9-something, but the music is just like a little too cheesy for me, so it's going to bring it down to like, I'm going to say like an 8.2.
I think that's a totally fair score. I think I'm going to probably be around there because there were a couple songs that kind of flopped on me, personally. I thought it was weird that Fudafafa was the first song.
But it gets stuck in our heads, man. So it's it's a good reason it's there. Yeah.
And yeah, the music. I think it was the amount of work they put into the music, and how keen it is to being a tribute to other stuff that they're parodying is very cool. Though,
and they nailed it.
Yeah, and there are some parts of the music that I. Like really like I like the music for Beautiful Girl in the Room a lot. I like Bowie, which we didn't talk about at all, but like it had the David Bowie like twists and turns that a Bowie song would have, and the whole time they're just doing their best David Bowie impression, which is hilarious.
Dude, that song is really cool actually. Like they kind of recreate a few of his songs, like Space Oddity and Let's Dance, like for sure.
Yeah,
those it's really obvious and it's cool, and the music video is great for it.
yeah, that's one of the music videos that they definitely went like above and beyond for the video itself.
They really, you could tell that was one that they probably like, it was an homage.
Right.
It was a Solange.
They were making as much fun of him as they were praising him, you know?
Yeah, they're clearly huge fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for sure. Like there are a lot of, like you said, honorary mention songs on this record, and it's the whole thing's so funny.
Yeah. It's as of right now, just because I don't usually listen to comedy music, it's probably my favorite comedy record out there.
Yeah,
and
I don't blame you, dude. It's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out that first Tenacious D album for sure.
Have you not listened to it?
I've listened to a couple songs on it.
Wow, dude, yeah,
But
it's a classic.
I watched the movie.
The Pick of Destiny is like, it grew on me. I like it a lot now, just because I'm such a like Tenacious D stan. But that first one, dude, that first album is like,
oh man,
untouchable.
Tribute was a big song to me in middle school.
Tribute, Karate, Wonder Boy.
Friendship Test was pretty funny.
And a lot of those are from the show, and they're so funny in context because they happen like a musical style.
I didn't know they had a TV show.
Yeah, it's like a 6-episode. I think they're only like 15 to 20 minutes long, and there's only 6 episodes. But a lot of the songs off the record are from the show, and they play themselves in it. Like it's just Jack Black believing way too much in Tenacious D, and no one else likes them.
And Kyle Gass.
And they live together, and they just get into hijinks together, and it's so funny and trippy and weird, and it's great, dude. You need to watch it.
I'm definitely gonna check it out. But my rating for this album, you know what? I'm thinking it's a 8.3.
Just 1 point above mine. Just
a little better than your rating, I think.
You think you're so different.
Yeah.
You just I'm gonna go. What is this? Price is Right. We're playing Price is Right rules.
Well, I'm sorry. What was Lucas's score? 8.2. I'm gonna do 8.21.
Ah, you son of a bitch. Damn, I thought you were gonna rate it a little higher. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was thinking about putting it in the 9 section, but I don't think it's. I thought about other records I've put in 9, and it's definitely not like as important as those records to me.
If it's your favorite comedy album, why can't you rate it a 9?
If it's my favorite comedy album and I've listened to 3 comedy albums, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yes, I get it. You're being conservative. I'm
being conservative. Maybe I'll get really into the comedy music scene, as I've tried to do before. Do you want to hear? I have a really good concept for a song, but I've never been able to make it.
Ooh, tell me.
It's called Third Wheel in a Threeway. And it's about like being the person who definitely the other 2 people did not want to be there, you know, but you're still kind of included.
Like the husband,
yeah,
the wife and the girl go at it.
It's or like in when I was writing the lyrics, it was like I had a girlfriend, and she was like, "Let's get a little experimental. I know this dude named Brad," and so Brad comes over, and like the 2 of them are getting really into it, and only kind of like, and I'm kind of like left in the corner a little bit.
Just like the guy in American Horror Story, just like jerking it and crying.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Third Wheel.
I had a kind of a joke band, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't think about this. We called ourselves 474. It was like the phone numbers in Seabrook were all like 281-474.
Okay.
Something. So, you know, in my band in high school was Seabrook Rude Boys. We were just like all about this shitty little town called Seabrook that we grew up in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, our college band, our joke band was 474. And one of the first songs we wrote was like we just name dropped every band from our high school that we could think of. And it was like 30 bands or something. So we just like wrote lyrics that just worked with every one of their band names. And it was like the most like pandering song.
Well,
ever.
yeah, I was
like,
gonna say
people actually liked it.
Y'all were trying to sell out as quickly as possible.
It was called Homies. We were just like, hey, shout outs to all our homies and bands from Clear Lake High School. Yeah, I know. Hey, we were writing to a certain audience, all right? And
yeah,
we got
okay.
huge.
Yeah,
we got huge from it.
Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Earbuds Podcast.
Listen to this album, Fly to the Conchords. It's
please listen to it, even if you've never listened to any comedy music, even if you didn't know that was a thing, aside from Weird Al. There are other people.
Anything ever.
If you've never listened to anything ever, listen to this album.
Listen to this album.
Have this be your first musical album.
If this podcast is the first thing that you've ever listened to, the second thing should be the Fly to the Conchords album.
Exactly. The third thing should be our YouTube videos, which are up on Earbuds Podcast YouTube. where we have little clips of our live streams that we do every Friday, 7 p.m. to talk about new albums of the week.
Yeah, it's behind a free paywall.
Yep.
So, you put $0 down and you get to listen and watch some of our videos on there.
0% interest for the first 3 years.
Yeah, no APR.
Yeah.
On our YouTube channel. But also, I don't know if you mentioned this because I'm a little stoned, but on Fridays we do a live stream.
I did say that.
Okay. And yeah, we're doing stuff. We're getting out there. We're making moves.
We're making moves.
Yeah. Gabo that ghoul. Gabo be that ghoul.
Gabo be that ghoul.
What would you rate this episode, man?
You know what? I'm going to rate this episode a 9. Just because I want the episode to be better than the album. I just want them to know the pain of being second best.
No matter how good any of the records that we listen to are, like, we always want our episodes to be better than that album.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we're always striving to do. Nothing but quality. That's why I get hungover and stoned sometimes before the show. And during.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes I get hungover during the show.
What percentage of episodes do you think you've not, like, smoked during?
Oh, not smoked?
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Would it be in the 10s? The
no,
10
I would say
percentile?
that maybe, if I was stoned, going into the episode or just, vaped while we talked and everything, probably less than 5. Fewer than 5.
Less than 5 episodes.
Yeah, I'm usually,
usually busting out that vape.
I'm usually just dry herb vaping on my Tetra P80 or my Solo 2 or my Crafty Plus.
Yeah, all right. Save us for
my
someone who
Mighty,
cares.
Or my Flower Pot.
All right.
All these things that are just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would rate this episode. What was Brett's rating? A 9.0? I'm going to do a 9.1.
Oh, mine was a 9.2.
Oh, I'm going to do a 9.3.
It was a 9.4, actually.
I'll do a 9.5. That's it.
All right. Well, I can't go higher than that. That's too rich for my blood.
All right, 9.5 it is then.
Okay.
And I think I need to figure out what album we're doing next.
You do, bud. I have no idea when we're going to record that episode.
No, there's some scheduling to do.
Yeah.
But we can figure it out. We'll give ourselves a couple days to do it, but we haven't really done too much actual rock lately.
Yeah, I guess if you don't consider Flight of the Conchords rock.
They're pretty heavy, but I think we can get a little heavier.
All right, what are you suggesting, big guy?
I want to do a heavy indie rock metal band called Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats.
Oh my god. Oh, it's one of the big boys.
It's one of those. I'm going to force you to listen to stoner metal for about an hour.
One thing that you'll learn about Lucas and being his friend is that he doesn't really talk about the things he likes too often. So he never talks about Action Bronson or Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats.
No RX Bandits ever mentioned.
So you wouldn't know that this is one of his favorite bands and the main band that he wanted to base our little band Mortales off of, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely. And it has a lot to do with this record in particular. It is called Night Creeper.
Night Creeper.
You're not far off with that melody there. So I am excited to talk about it, man. Next episode, Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats. Night
All
Creeper.
right.
Let's do it.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Stick around. Hey, buddies, thanks for listening. We love you guys. Brett, was this good?
Lucas, this was good.
This was good?
It was about as... it was I would say, the 4th best music review parody
Comedy
duo
Yeah.
band in New Zealand.
Okay, well, so it wasn't that bad. Brett, this wasn't that bad.
This wasn't that bad.
And a 3, and a 2, and a 1.